Hi, everybody. Welcome to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton joined alongside Chad Silver and Lauren Coleman.
You're going to want to keep your eye on the radar today because it's pretty active.
Oh yeah, I mean just this afternoon, Tim Buckley, right around lunchtime, that's when things really started to hit the fan, didn't they?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that couple of hours from about lunchtime through about 2 to 3 o'clock, it was busy. We had a lot of downpours, lightning, and gusty winds as well, even a little bit of flooding across our area. Ironically, right now, everything is really quiet. There's honestly nothing going on across the Triad, but we're still going to keep an eye on things as we go into the dinner time hour and even a little bit beyond that. We still have the severe thunderstorm watch technically until 8 o'clock tonight. I think it'll be able to get canceled a little earlier than that. We'll keep you posted, but here's your latest live radar. Dry, 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 dry all across the central Triad. The last of that rain and thunderstorm is just clearing Alamance County right now. Here's where we would be watching for redevelopment with any new thunderstorms. We're looking here at Mount Airy and then the Blue Ridge Mountains. These kind of downpours forming could become round 2 as we go into the evening, let's say between 5 and 8 o'clock tonight. We'll watch that very carefully, and it could happen because we see this cold front is still well off to the north and west. So I wouldn't count on getting another storm today, but there is still that possibility, and we'll keep an eye on that for you. Here's what Futurecast has right now. Of course, dry at the moment, likely dry for the next couple of hours, but it's possible you could see a couple more storms forming, just like I said, through about 8 to 9 o'clock. And then very quiet for the rest of the overnight hours. Tomorrow should be a dry day of weather too. Temperatures have been up and down. If you got that rainfall earlier, it cooled you off from mid 80s down to 70 degrees. Well, it has rebounded. Now it's back to around 90 in the foothills, 86 Winston-Salem, back to 83 in Greensboro where it was 70 just 2 hours ago. There's all the humidity you can stand too. This is the worst humidity I've seen this year. Dew points are in the 75-degree range, which is like you're in the Florida Keys. Very, very humid weather, and that's going to continue with heat going into the weekend. So looking at your Friday forecast, mid-70s in the morning, low to mid-90s for the afternoon. It'll feel more like the upper 90s with that humidity. I'm going to keep my eye on the radar through about that 8 o'clock time frame, and of course we'll have plenty of updates for you right here on News 2.
Thanks, Tim. And right now we're in the frequent storm season, so you're going to want to keep our WFMY News 2 app close while you're out this weekend. We've got you covered with the latest weather and traffic updates. Just download the app from either the Apple Store or Google Play. It's free.
New at 4, Guilford County Schools now says it'll put touchless body scanners in all high schools district-wide. You'll remember the district was testing the scanners at 2 high schools.
Leaders say the new tech costs $800,000 a year. Right now, federal money will cover the bill, but after 2 years, they'll have to figure out additional funding.
Now, schools with multiple entrances will have scanners at all doors. The district plans to have scanners ready to go by next month. Another big story we are following today, President Biden has tested positive for COVID.
This is the first time the president has ever tested positive, and it comes more than 2 years into the pandemic.
Vice President Kamala Harris was also tested today. She was negative. She was last seen with the president on Tuesday. Her office released a statement saying business will continue as planned. As you might know, she is in our state today. She landed in Charlotte this morning to speak on affordable internet access and reproductive health care.
The president's COVID diagnosis is much different now that we're 2 years deep into the pandemic. Back in 2020, former President Trump and First Lady Trump tested positive for the virus when research and treatments were still very new. At the time, Trump received an experimental antibody cocktail made up of 3 different drugs. A vaccine was not yet developed. While both Biden and Trump's symptoms are similar, the current president's diagnosis is likely to be much less severe.
Fresh off a visit to Massachusetts.
We need to act.
And a 4-day trip overseas.
The United States is going to remain an active, engaged partner in the Middle East.
President Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. Epidemiologist and CBS News contributor Dr. Celine Gounder spoke about the president's case.
He's been double vaccinated and double boosted. He is a healthy 79-year-old. He also has started Paxlovid, which we know further reduces the risk of hospitalization.
The president's doctor said those mild symptoms include runny nose, fatigue, and an occasional dry cough.
I understand that the symptoms are light. I hope they continue to be so. That was my experience, and I hope that that's the case for the president.
The president had a crime prevention event scheduled in Pennsylvania today, but the White House says he will stay in isolation until he tests negative.
You know, we think about this and how things have changed. We were talking about vaccinations and the like, and I've had the 2 vaccinations and a booster, and then because of my age, I qualified for the second booster. I haven't done it yet. It's not because I don't believe in it or don't want to. It's almost like I feel like I've had it. I kind of knew what I went through. Actually, you know, the booster, I didn't have the booster the first time I had it, and my symptoms were so mild. I almost feel like for me it was like it wasn't even like the flu. It was like a half a day of a flu, and then it cleared up.
For me, I, to my knowledge, have not gotten COVID-19, knock on wood, and I've gotten vaccinated. I've gotten my booster, but for me, I got mine back in the fall. So it's been several months, and they keep saying, you know, you have to be 50 or like immunocompromised. So my question is, when are people in my category going to qualify for another vaccine?
And then the question is, we did a story yesterday on how the new version of the vaccines are going to be coming out this fall that apparently will be better at protecting you from the new variants. So the question is, I mean, do you wait?
Should you wait for the
until
new
that one comes out, or do you get one if you're eligible?
That makes me want to wait.
That would make me want to wait too, but it's just, I feel like, at least I feel like we're in a better position now that we do have vaccines out.
Yes.
We do have better treatments and all that jazz, but it is still a gray area when it comes to all these new treatments and vaccines that are coming out.
It's almost like once it runs its course, I think really it's going to end up like the flu, where you get the flu shot once a year.
Absolutely, but I don't know if we're there yet.
Not there yet, but I think that's where we'll end up.
Yeah.
It'll just be nice if they could combine COVID shot with flu shot.
Yes.
So you just get one.
Yes, because I got mine at the same time, and I felt like I got beat up because both my arms were sore for like 2 days.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, High Point police say a driver not wearing a seatbelt died after hitting a tree. Officers say Antoine Ingram lost control while on Centennial Street, then hit a tree. Investigators say speed contributed to the crash. Now, the reason we're telling you about this specific crash is because it's one of several recent crashes involving drivers not wearing a seatbelt. A woman died in a crash on I-40/85 on Monday near Mount Hope Church Road. Deputies say she was the passenger in the car. The driver was wearing a seatbelt, but she was not. He lived, she died. Last Thursday, a similar crash on Greensboro Chapel Hill Road in Alamance County. 2 cars collided head-on. Troopers say neither driver was wearing a seatbelt. Both died.
It takes seconds to pull that seatbelt on. Cars are manufactured so safe these days, and we just neglect the safety features that are in those vehicles.
There will be another January 6th committee hearing in prime time tonight. The panel will focus on former President Trump's inaction as people stormed the Capitol. 2 former Trump administration members are expected to testify. Both resigned the day of the attack. The hearings run from 8 to 10 p.m. You can watch them on air or online. And because of that, Young Sheldon, Ghosts, and Big Brother will not air.
Right now, the Greensboro Urban Ministry says it's in desperate need of donations. They're dealing with extreme supply strain and rising inflation costs. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey talked to Greensboro Urban Ministry leadership. They said if they don't get help, they could run out very soon. Jalen.
Yeah, Lauren, according to the Greensboro Urban Ministry, this time last year, they fed about 60 families a day on average. Now, that number has almost doubled. With donations low, demand high, and food prices even higher, Greensboro Urban Ministry needs your help now more than ever.
Right now, we're down to about 20,000 pounds of food. Last year at this time, we had about 175,000 pounds of food on the premises. So just looking at that, you can see how much food we've actually sent out. So donations are down. We are seeing record number of people coming for food assistance, especially people who've never come to see us in the past.
The biggest item of need, non-perishable, shelf-stable items. For example, canned goods, beans, pasta, and more. but a monetary donation will always be accepted.
Greensboro is a very caring, welcoming community. It's my home, it's your home, and I just hope everybody will come out and support us, and by supporting us, you're helping to feed your neighbors in need.
Tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Walmart on Battleground Avenue, we've partnered with the Greensboro Urban Ministry for an emergency food drive. Make sure you stop by and donate because your neighbors need your help, and we'd love to see you.
Dig into it. Ben Briscoe here. I will be there as well, and I hope you join us. You know, everyone knows putting food on the table has gotten a lot more expensive in the past year. I mean, look at this hamburger alone. Veggies have gone up 6.4%, meat prices 12.3%. But the biggest culprits poaching money from other parts of your budget are eggs, up a whopping 32%. We're going to take a look at why prices have increased so much and what you can do about it. Coming up at 5:45.
Plus, a Greensboro woman abandoned as a 2-week-old infant is doing her part to help mothers in need. How she's giving back to a community that supported her when she needed them most. That's next.
We'll take a quick check of the radar here. A lot better than it was midday. So midday today at noon, we had all of that right over the top of us. Heavy thunderstorm activity. There was some decent lightning within those systems. Seen worse, but it was pretty active there for a while. Let's go ahead and give you a look at where it is now. Most of this is toward just north of the triangle proper. So from Wake Forest and Durham up north to Henderson, that's where we're seeing most of the lightning strikes now. It'll move on to the east, may get a little bit rough as it goes east toward the coast, but for us, most of the heavy thunderstorm activity for now is over.
A Greensboro business owner and doula is doing her part to uplift new mothers by sponsoring a community baby shower for the Triad. Precious Bradley owns Precious Cargo Doula Services, LLC. She says the free event will feature vendors, games, and giveaway items like diapers, strollers, and baby formula.
I know there's been a lot of things happening around legislation and around the woman's body. So whether what you agree with or what you believe in, I just want it to be a neutral place where mothers can get what they need, which is resources, and they can get it immediately.
We first introduced you to Bradley back in 2014 when she was on a search to find her biological family. She was abandoned as a 2-week-old infant on Dillard Street in Greensboro. She found her biological family and hopes her community event will show others to never give up hope.
Sometimes people just need that extra boost to keep going. That's right. And I've needed that many of days. And so if I'm able to give that boost to somebody else, I know that it's a blessing, because I know the times when I needed that boost.
The community baby shower is Saturday, August 6th from 10 to 3 p.m. at the Moorhead Recreation Center in High Point. For details on how to register for the event and to see our original story on Precious Bradley, just go to WFMYnews2.com.
Gosh, well, I just can't imagine what she has gone through and the journey that she has gone through to get to where she is now.
Absolutely. I know that we first spoke to her back in 2014, and then in 2018 was the last time we checked in with her when she did find her biological family at age 27. So to just see her progress, she has her own business, she has products that are sold in different stores across the Triad, and to just use all these things that happened to her to create good, for her community, putting on this baby shower in a time of need where we know prices are high everywhere. It's just commendable to see what she's doing.
And I mean, it's incredible that, just watching her interview that, I mean, this is a very emotional topic and journey for her.
And the event itself is going to be great. Like she said, there's going to be diapers, wipes, strollers, baby formula, all type of products that have been donated to them. So people who are interested in donating money, or maybe if you own a business of some sort and you want to give some items, we do have the flyer on the web story with a QR code where you can put your phone on there and get involved and help out.
You can just imagine how fulfilling it is to know that she's helping other people who might be in a similar situation that she was in or her family was in at the time when she was a kid. Wow, that's just incredible.
Absolutely. We'll be right back after this break. Stick with us.
We had the heavy thunderstorms moving through at the lunch hour, and the good part of that, they're moving on to the east away from us right now, pretty much in the clear as far as that one big cell is concerned. Still a risk heading into the night, but it's very slight. I don't think we'll see much at all. 83 degrees, though. It cooled us down. In fact, at one point we were down into the lower 70s. Now we're building back up again. But again, just now as we start to peak temperature-wise and head back down again into the overnight low. So 83 in the Triad, Charlotte at 91, Raleigh 75 degrees. There goes the rain and thunderstorm activity on to the east. We're not seeing a whole lot of development back behind it. A little bit right at the Virginia border near Mount Airy and maybe up toward Cana, Virginia. But the heavier thunderstorm activity for now, and for sure around the Henderson and down to Wake Forest and just north of Raleigh, right? You see just barely out of the way of the beltway there around Raleigh as it moves towards Zebulon. Moving at a pretty good clip too. It wasn't that long ago we were checking the radar and it was on the west side of Henderson. So moving along pretty quickly. If we go to a wider shot, you can see the instability generally runs just east of the Triad and then down toward the coastal sections of South Carolina. It's a cold front we've been talking about, not much to it though, kind of falling apart, but that moves through and fizzles out over the area. Now here comes the heat. High pressure, two of them really, and it could join together for one big bubble of high pressure. That basically will cook us for the next couple of days. Our weekend temperatures are really, really warm. In fact, we're talking hot temperatures, and wait till you see the feels like index on those. 73 will be the overnight low tonight, partly cloudy, still a chance of a storm. Tomorrow in the low 90s. Look at this 7-day forecast, mid 90s Saturday, Sunday with a 20% chance of a shower. You see the shower chances go up to really to a more normal 30 to 40% each afternoon. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We are in the low 90s all 4 of those days. And if you wonder about the heat index, it will feel more like 96 tomorrow, not the actual temperature, but what it feels like. 98 Saturday and 100 on Sunday.
A runner from High Point is competing for a major title tonight. Team USA's Tamara Clark is vying for her first women's 200-meter World Championship medal. Clark advanced to the finals after a win over Great Britain and Jamaica. She completed the 200-meter race in 21.95 seconds. Her final race is tonight at 7:35 p.m. Now, Clark ran track at High Point Central, then ran for Alabama in college. Her parents still live here, and you can imagine they are so proud of her.
21.95 seconds.
That's what I was thinking.
That is
these
quick.
numbers.
It's crazy.
That is very quick. I know we tried to check in with her parents this morning, but they weren't available. But I could only imagine just how proud and pumped they are for their daughter.
So I talked to her, I think it was her aunt last night.
Okay,
she called
cool.
the newsroom and she said, I have a great story for you all. And so I said, okay, what is she? And she was over the moon about how proud she was of her relative. She was like, she's from High Point, and she ran at High Point Central, and then she went to Alabama. Her parents still live here, and they're just really excited about her. And she's racing again, or running again tonight, and she beat Shikari, is that her name?
Oh, sure. Wow, the Olympian,
yes.
the one that qualified for the Olympics. Yeah.
She beat her the other day.
Wow.
And so
this girl is quick.
Yes, very quick. So I mean, we all got to be rooting for her. But I love when there's some hometown pride.
Yes.
Yeah, we have so much talent here. I'm so excited for her. So she competes at 7:35 tonight. That's Pacific, so 10:30 our time. So hopefully, we'll be able to check in with her regardless of what happens. I mean, that's an amazing,
I did the same thing you did. When I saw that number, I thought that it cannot be right.
That's
crazy fast.
I've seen some fast people, but that is very fast.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, she went on to run at Alabama. So I mean, this is a very promising young woman who, Olympics next, ready for that.
It takes me that long to get up out of my seat in the newsroom when the back gets thrown out,
Yeah, that's what you were doing earlier today. I'm like, what's going on here?
What's wrong with that guy? All right, we'll be right back.
Either way, we'll be able to talk to her.
We reserve the right to just pick anybody at random and test them.
Because have we reported on her before?
Yeah, hi, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
She's dumb.
I think it would be great to talk to her when she comes back.
Hi there, welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton with Chad Silver and Lauren Coleman. Tim Buckley along with you.
Thanks for watching us on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app.
Tim Buckley, this is your day to babysit the radar, isn't it, at this point?
Yeah, we're watching some stuff. That's true. You know, right now, not much going on, but earlier today, a lot of you watching really went through a doozy of a storm. I know we did right here at the television station. Here are a couple of pictures that have been sent in. Looks something like this. This is coming in from the High Point area, and really it's not that unique. In Guilford County right now, at last check, there are still about 2,500 customers with Duke Energy that are in the dark. And the reason for that are scenes like this. Trees down in some areas. Now notice when this picture was taken, the sky already cleared up. It's been a blue sky for a while now, but Kate Pancho having that situation in her neighborhood, and that's the case right along Highway 150 in Guilford County. There were a big power outage as well. Severe thunderstorm watch does continue for a little bit, but the storms have gone away. The one thing I'm really looking for is this. You see right up here, Mount Airy, take a look at this. Downpour moving into your area. We could see redevelopment. The cold front has not moved through yet. So with that front still back here, we're gonna have to watch things. Between 5 and 8 o'clock is when I think we could see a couple more popping up. You see right here on radar, there might be a couple storms that move through our area, and 1 or 2 of them could still be on the strong side. Now, most of us are probably not going to see those, but if you do, you might see a damaging wind gust and some rain. Temperatures, take a look. Kind of looks like a weird map, right? Well, this is where it has not rained, and this is where it rained pretty recently. Temperatures still in the 70s there, and boy, is it a hot and humid feel outside. I've tracked this pretty closely all year long. These are the highest dew point numbers I've seen the whole year, which means it's the most water we've had in the air. It's just the most humid day of our season so far, and it's going to be hard to stay cool and comfortable. Heading into tomorrow, it's another hot weather day. That front will push by us. It shouldn't create more thunderstorms, so we have dry weather Friday, Saturday, and into the weekend, but very hot. 70s for the morning, low 90s for your Friday afternoon. I think it'll be right around 92 to 93 for your high, but with the humidity, it's going to feel more like 96, 97. And then for the weekend itself, air temperatures will be in the mid 90s, and oh yeah, it's going to feel like 100 degrees. Do your best to stay cool this weekend. Be smart about being outside. Don't overdo it, because we're going to keep this heat around all the way into the middle and end of next week.
Right now, we're in the frequent storm season, so you're going to want to keep our WFMY News 2 app close while you're out and about this weekend. We've got you covered with the latest weather and traffic updates. Just download our app from either the Apple Store or Google Play. It's free.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, Guilford County Schools now says it'll put touchless body scanners in all high schools district-wide. You'll remember the district was testing the scanners at 2 high schools. It plans to have scanners ready to go by next month. The district maintains it does not think these would stop a mass shooting, but it could help keep guns out of school buildings. President Biden is recovering from COVID-19. The White House says he has tested positive this morning and he'll stay in isolation until he tests negative. He shared a video on Twitter a few hours ago.
Hey folks, guess you heard this morning I tested positive for COVID. But I've been double vaccinated, double boosted. Symptoms are mild, and I really appreciate your inquiry and your concerns. But I'm doing well. I'm getting a lot of work done. I'm going to continue to get it done, and in the meantime, thanks for your concern, and keep the faith. It's going to be okay.
Vice President Kamala Harris was also tested today, but she was negative. There will be another January 6th committee hearing in prime time tonight. The panel will focus on former President Trump's inaction as people storm the Capitol. 2 former Trump administration members are expected to testify. Both resigned the day of the attack. The hearings run from 8 to 10 p.m. You can watch them here on air or online. Because of that, Young Sheldon, Ghosts, and Big Brother will not air.
Right now, we want to call your attention to a scam that's back in rotation. Cash App is one of several money-sharing apps allowing you to bypass the bank and directly repay someone for a debt. But as WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris explains, improper use can cause you to get swindled out of your savings.
So Joanne asked me to verify people on Facebook telling you to send money and receive more. She saw her friend sharing a post that reads in part, Cash App is presently giving out money to help people by this period of pandemic. To benefit, you have to trade with them using gift card or make Cash App transfer for trading and get your winnings immediately after verification, end quote. And then explains if you get $100 worth of gift cards, you'll get $1,500 in return and so forth. Okay, well, right away we notice the missing words and the other grammatical errors, some of which I've circled here. This post immediately gives off red flags, which is why Joanne brought it to my attention. So let's verify. Our sources for this are Cash App, the Federal Trade Commission, and Lachelle Yates with the Better Business Bureau of Central and Northwest North Carolina. They affirm that so-called Cash App promotion is fake.
This social media post invokes two golden rules. First, if you are being asked to pay money up front for any reason in order to collect your money, the person asking is a crook. And second, gift cards are not currency. Gift cards are meant to be given as gifts, period.
Plus, why would Cash App want your gift cards? The Federal Trade Commission says very clearly no real business or government agency will ever insist you pay them with a gift card. And the real Cash App has a whole scam warning page on its website. It mentions cash flipping schemes when scammers promise to increase your money if you send them funds first. The scammers sometimes claim, as they did in this case, they need the payment up front for a verification or clearance fee. So bottom line, pausing to think and question can save you a huge headache.
First, realize that Cash App is not like a bank account. Your money is not federally insured. Second, use these apps like they were intended, peer-to-peer, sending money to people that you know. And third, if you end up sending money to a scammer, you're not likely to get your money back. These money sending apps, they're not going to shoulder the cost of fraud like credit card companies do.
In conclusion, we verify no, the post claiming Cash App will pay you 10 times the money on a gift card is fake.
And as a final note on payment apps, watch out for how much you send, even to trusted sources. As of January 1st of this year, a new IRS rule now requires you to report to the federal government any payment app business transactions of more than $600. You can help stop the spread of misinformation if you see a claim or story that needs to be verified. Send a selfie, video, or short paragraph to verify at WFMYnews2.com.
All right, college football, yeah, we're all thinking about that. It is right around the corner. The ACC kickoff continues today down in Charlotte. This is day 2. The Coastal Division teams in attendance today. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson had storylines from North Carolina teams.
Today we are getting a chance to speak with the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Duke Blue Devils, two coastal teams looking to have a much different season in 2022. Big expectations for head coach Mack Brown and the Tar Heels last year. That didn't pan out. Now the Heels are without their starting quarterback, Sam Howell, lost him in the draft. No QB at the ACC kickoff for the Heels, aside from figuring out who will be under center. Coach Brown tells us how the team can improve this season.
We've got to do a better job with road games, and we've got to do a better job of finishing close games. And we feel like with the accountability of this team in the off season that we're in a much better position to do that right now than we were last year.
Meantime, Duke has a lot to figure out. Coming off a losing season, only won 3 games, the Blue Devils have a new head coach, Mike Elko. He tells us his goals and mindset heading into his first season with the team.
I mean, always a bowl. I think that's where you want to put the starting point. We want to be in a bowl game. But if that doesn't happen, I do think there's little things that we can do to show success. We can be more competitive. We can be more passionate. We can be more physical. I think there's ways we can show how we're playing football and show some strides that way too.
How the players of both teams feel heading into the season, we'll hear from them coming up in sports at 6. We'll be right back after this break.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
You check our temperature map, you'll see some big differences here from 83 in Greensboro, and then just down the road in Lexington we jump up to 91 degrees there. Same story in Albemarle as well. That's because of where the rain moved through. At one point we were in the 70s because of that rain-cooled 70-degree reading, but then now up to 83. It's 73 in Burlington. Most of this rain now exiting our area, moving on really past the triangle, a little north of the triangle. Let's scoot the radar over just a bit. This is approaching right along I-95. There's Enfield and Roanoke Rapids, so they're next in line for that. So we can say goodbye to that first batch. Could we see another isolated shower? Maybe, but we don't really expect a lot of thunderstorm activity in the overnight period. If you hear an isolated cell here or there, don't be surprised, but that should be the majority of it. Otherwise, we're looking at some drier air back behind this one as we head into the next couple of days. We'll talk about the weekend coming up.
Sure, you can post a picture and your thoughts on Facebook, but you can also look for events. You can sell things on the marketplace, right? You can raise money for your favorite charity. But turn back time, and 12 years ago on Facebook, yeah, you had the option to click on and like websites outside of Facebook. That feature is why some people who had Facebook accounts 12 years ago are now getting a legit email about a settlement.
The subject line of the email, Notice of Proposed Settlement Agreement. These are the court documents. After years of litigation, Facebook has agreed to settle a class action lawsuit for $90 million. Now, the story has made international headlines. The lawsuit claims the social media giant tracks subscribers' activities on outside websites, even when they were logged out of Facebook. The company denies any wrongdoing, but reps say they didn't want a trial. So now anyone who visited a non-Facebook website with a like button in 2010 and 2011 is eligible to cash in.
All right, so for once, I'm going to tell you to read your email, right? And follow the instructions, which I never tell you to do.
Sure. Right.
But if you are like curious about it or whatever else, and you don't believe that email, you can always Google the settlement and Facebook, and it will take you to the lawyer's thing. We actually have that for you on the website. I'm just curious, were any of you on Facebook in 2010, 2011?
I was.
You were?
I was on.
I joined in 2007.
Me too. I've been on Facebook for a while.
I think I was about 09 maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. What about
See,
you?
and I was not. I was like one of those people who I'm like, this looks like a time sucker, and you jokers are just going to have to like deal with it because I'm not like joining in for a while.
I thought you were going to say you were still on MySpace.
Yeah, Tanya was on MySpace.
I was never on MySpace.
I was not on
Tumblr.
I don't know who did not click on a like. You know, at that
I know I clicked on them. That's why I was going
right.
like
So
this
if you
while
didn't get the email, you can still claim this. So we have that in the Two Wants to Know section, so that it says, you know, if you didn't, if you think you should, you know, be part of this, you can. And it's one of those things where, you know what? What's the worst that happens? You go in and you start the claim, and if they don't give it to you, they don't give it to you.
You get $1.35. There'll be so many people.
I know. I was like, how much are we talking?
Right.
And it usually is, you know, depending on how many people actually make a claim for something like that. But usually stuff like this, it's about for you to like buy lunch. Ish.
Hey,
I'll take it.
You know?
Inflation and times are tough. I'll take it.
I'll take a free lunch.
All right, well, go to the Two Wants to Know section because it's in there right now, and you can just click on the thing that says make your claim, and you can do that.
And you say, Mark Zuckerberg, give me that money.
That's right.
Yeah. He could afford to give some of that
Pop
money
some
out.
of
Right,
it.
yeah.
They wanted to keep it out of the courts, so that's why they decided to do the lawsuit.
It's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. You know, we're looking ahead to the weekend. We've got a couple of thunderstorms we're going to update you on in just a minute, nothing super severe. But if you look into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here, look at these feels like. So the heat index readings. So the actual forecast high 93 tomorrow, it will feel more like 96. Don't like that, and it gets worse. Saturday, forecast of 95, it'll feel like 98. Sunday, 96, and feeling like 100 degrees. Current temperatures in the low 90s for Charlotte and Fayetteville. We've got 83 in the Triad, Raleigh at 75 because they're seeing some showers. If you look at the feels like index, even right now, it feels like 94 in Winston-Salem and 100 in Albemarle. So most of the rain moves on to the east. Couple of storms in the foothill regions. This one squarely around the Mount Airy region and heading down 52 to the south. And so that'll cross 268 around the Pilot Mountain area, headed down toward Winston-Salem and northern and western Forsyth County. And just to the north of Westfield there along Highway 89, we're getting a couple of showers and storms. Overall, when you look at the big picture here, they're just isolated and scattered, with the heavier storms being really more along the coastal sections eventually by this evening. Can't rule it out into the night tonight, but maybe 8 to 10 o'clock we'll see things totally calm down. Front goes away, and then we're just hit with the heat as we head into the weekend. This is Saturday at noon. 2 high pressure systems, just a big bubble of high pressure over the southeast. That'll give us some of that heat that they were having out in the nation's midsection the other day. So for us, that's going to build into that Saturday, Sunday, and we see mid-90s on both of those days, it looks like. Overall, to recap this tonight, you can't rule out an isolated storm. I'm not going to say widespread, not at all, but just an isolated storm if we get one at all. And I think as we head into the overnight, we're done with that. 73 degrees, we'll see the wind southwest, 5 to 10. That means the humidity stays with us. And it's the same story tomorrow. Southwest 5 to 10, partly sunny and hot. We do see reduced rain chances, even though that high is still up there to 92 with those high pressure domes over us, so to speak. We only keep it at a 20%, and that's very small for this time of the year. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with highs 94 and 96 for Saturday, Sunday. If you look at Monday through most of the work week next week, and you're looking at low 90s, 92 to 93 degrees every day. Lows will be in the low 70s. And then that late day pop-up shower or storm chance, not a great one, but that's a normal 30 to 40% chance. So partly cloudy during the day, and then those late day pop-up isolated storms.
Show up, work hard, go to the pros. Those 3 things are drilled into young athletes as young as 5 years old, but too often the stress to perform at such a young age gets too heavy to bear.
WFMY News 2's Tracy McCain spoke with 2 former professional football players from Greensboro, tackling mental health with future athletes in mind.
Keep getting different reps, keep getting reps.
Running plays over and over.
You ready, John? There you go.
Gets great athletes through the mental blocks on the field.
1, 2, hold at the cone, tap. 1, 2, hold at the cone, tap.
But Greensboro's Jamon Mook Reynolds and Trey Turner discovered there's no playbook when it comes to preparing for the stress and pressure football stardom suddenly brings.
We both went through times where our mental has not been where we needed to be, and college football has a lot of aspect, has a lot of impact with that, and we want to make sure the kids that today in this area of football right here, just know that the mental aspect is just as important, if not way more important than the physical aspect. He gonna tell you which way he gonna go, all right? Until then, you just mirror.
Reynolds and Turner have played football for as long as they can remember.
Really not known him since I started walking. Our older brothers was best friend. They played YMCA basketball together, so we was always around each other.
Reynolds, a top recruit out of Northern Guilford, Turner at Northwest High. The former college teammates were living their dreams, playing for the Hokies, and then on separate NFL teams.
Because football is one thing, everybody can be ready physically, but life is different. 3 years of my life after I ended up leaving Virginia Tech were some of the most troubling times for me. I experienced having to move states at a short amount of time, having to go to another team in a short amount of time.
Tackling life's highs and lows eventually took its toll.
While in Texas, my house ended up burning down, but the thing that carried me through it all was the mental stability that I had. Break. Clean it up. It made me understand that this is something that's needed and that a lot of people will understand it because we all experience it.
The former teammates started next in line training 5 months ago to mentor young athletes trying to get to the next level.
Stronger punch, stronger punch. We try to prepare that child to be able to succeed. Ain't nobody else doing this. Ain't no other 12-year-olds out here right now. In every category, every way of life, whether they're on the field or on the court.
It is a total wellness initiative, training the body and mind to be healthy.
Just making sure your mental is good, make sure you're happy, and knowing what you want to do in life,
I love that story. We really have to normalize mental health, talk about it because it's real. I liked how he talked about when he left college, he had to go to different locations and he had all these different responsibilities. And we tend to ignore those things and act like they don't matter, but they do weigh on us and they do affect how we think. And as an athlete, I can only imagine that that's going to take away from what he should be focused on.
You can't,
the game.
And you can't perform physically if your mind is not in the game.
If it's not there.
You know?
Yeah.
I know a lot of players who say that's their tactic. You always try to get in the head of the opponent because if you do that, they're not going to play their best game.
You see people playing tennis or like baseball and different things, and
Talking
they're going,
trash.
hey, batter.
Yep.
Oh, she can't hit that. You know, that really does like get into your mind.
True.
And I think, you know, when you start at such a young age and you seem to have a promising career as an athlete, I mean, if you think about it, coaches and parents will oftentimes push you, you know, to your limits when it comes to physicality, but maybe not the mental aspect of it. I mean, you know, you said in the intro to this story about, you know, when you could start at 5 years old, being trained very aggressively to perform at a very
it's pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of pressure, and if you think about some athletes, you know, sports is a way out to getting a better life for maybe their family, or maybe a way for them to get a college education. So there's a lot of that pressure, like you're going to get us out of this situation, so you need to perform to the best of your ability. So it's important to tackle both that mental aspect as well, because you know you got to make sure you're in a good headspace so you could be a great person all the way around.
And if you have that kind of pressure on you early, you're going to be someone who feels that pressure. You need something to vent that teapot. You know, if you feel that pressure as a child and that translates into your adult life, it's even worse in adult life. You have to kind of back it off.
You don't want to like explode, and
right.
it starts to trickle into other parts of your life too.
Interesting that they said next in line is the name of the group, and then NIL, like name, image, like this.
Right,
I thought
exactly, that's what I thought too.
Not an accident.
Right.
We'll be back. Or we not.
Hey, I want to see. Graphic, video, graphic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh yeah, getting toasty. We're gonna toast some.
Hi there, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana.
It's the end of the show. Hey, we're getting ready to talk about food insecurity.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check 1, 2, 1.
The touchless body scanner started as a pilot program at 2 high schools here.
Hard to believe we are already halfway through July. I had to read a news story the other day about how we're just 5 months from Christmas. That's crazy to think. I don't know about you, but the summer months always seem to go by faster than any other season. Could you imagine if January and February went by as fast as July and August? This is also the time of the year when I start to think about the upcoming winter. Personally, I really dislike that season and honestly wouldn't be sad if I never had to live through another winter in a cold weather climate. This year, I'm trying a different thought process. Instead of dreading the winter, I'm finding things in the winter that I can look forward to. Holidays, family and friend visits, and hopefully trips to some tropical destinations. I'm mostly an optimistic person, but the weather is my biggest trip up when it comes to looking at things from a glass half full mentality. So that's what I'll be focusing on the next couple of months. What aspect of your life could use a tune-up? It might be worth it to take a step back and see what small changes you can make to help improve your overall mental health. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now. It has been a busy day on the radar. Storms have now moved out, and Tim will have an update on what to expect for the rest of the evening.
At the peak of the storms, more than 3,000 people across the Triad were without power. We get an update in a second, but first, let's get right on over to Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley. Tim, how long will these storms be an issue tonight?
Well, the good news is that we already might have seen some of the worst of the weather early.